I'm sure like you. I'm having many conversations about what's happening in Iran and what's coming next. Big picture we all know, and I talked about that in the last podcast. In this one, I want to share with you what I think is going to happen in the next days ahead. I do want to point out that I'm working on this on a Sunday afternoon, and it's not going to be released for another 5 days. By then this could all be wrong or right or anywhere in between. Events are moving fast, so I'll have to ask for your grace in not being up to the hour with what I'm talking about. So will America and Israel invade Iran? I don't see that as what is going to happen. Biblically, we know Iran is a major player in the war of Gog-Magog. So, a full invasion with a regime change doesn't line up with what the Bible tells us. Keep in mind, and I think I said this in the last podcast, all the money that Biden and Obama gave them for their nuclear program they used on their nuclear and missile programs. Their military is still stuck in the 60s. They absolutely can be fully dealt with through air power alone. I'm not saying there might not be any commando raids, but I think that would be handled by the IDF, as we've already seen. Now, it is entirely possible that there is a regime change, and after the events of Isaiah 17, the new regime turns on Israel, but that really seems unlikely to me. If there is a new regime, it will come from what we consider the traditional Persians, and they love Israel. Also, this is not World War III, nor is this going to trigger it. This is a fear that has come from the church's lack of prophetic knowledge. What comes directly after this, I'll talk about in just a minute. And as far as attacks on America, I think it will come in 3 forms, but be very limited, and dies down as soon as this is over, if we see it at all. I think you'll have missiles launched at American assets in the area. I'm sure that will already have happened by the time this podcast is released. We may see some attacks on Americans abroad. We may even see some terrorist activity in the large blue cities here in the U.S. As I'm creating this, there is already news about an attack on a church in Michigan. I also think this will intensify Muslim persecution of Christians worldwide. I do, however, think terrorist activity in the U.S. and Israel is going to be limited, if at all, and there is a very good reason for this. We are told in the Bible that at the time of the rapture, people will be eating, drinking, marrying, and giving in marriage. In modern day speak, people are going to be going on vacations, going to parties, getting married. People are going to be optimistic, happy, and planning for the future. This is not a description of a time of world war or great turmoil. Also, as we've talked about, the start of Ezekiel 38 shows us that Israel is going to be in a place of security, wealth, and strength. We may see some bad events before the dust settles on this. As I'm creating this, Iran is saying they are going to close the Strait of Hormuz. It's very likely that by the time this podcast is released, that will have already been resolved. I don't think Iran has the strength to pull that off. Israeli and American air power will put an end to that. So here is what I'm expecting in the days to come. And I say that with the caveat that I'm sure this will be way out of date by the time this is released. I think at some point soon, Iran is going to surrender, but before they do, they will smuggle out their remaining nuclear material to Syria, in particular Damascus. Iran will be brought to heel and their proxies will be gone. Israel will emerge as a superpower of the Middle East. The Saudis and UAE will immediately set up the trade corridor they've been wanting to set up with Israel this whole time. The Middle East problem will seemingly be solved. Things in America will continue to look good. While this is all going on, the evil plan spoken of in Ezekiel and spelled out in Isaiah will be planned. And at some point, that plan will be executed, but I think that will happen after the biggest event of them all, the rapture. I don't know if this is for sure what's going to happen, but it really is looking like a Feast of Trumpets rapture this year, followed by the events of Isaiah 17 and Ezekiel 38 and 39. Whether I'm right or not, don't let anyone weight you down with their fear of these events. People are running scared right now because of their lack of knowledge of biblical prophecy. In these last days, let them know the good news and why we call the rapture the blessed hope. It's in these times we have a great opportunity to reach people, or at least plant a seed in them. Once this ends and the good times come, they will not hear you or want to listen. And just as when Noah stepped onto the ark and the rain began, when we are taken, it will be too late for them to avoid what is coming, but they still may become a tribulation saint, especially when they remember what you tell them now. Wow. It is Monday night at 6:50, and I've just finished this audio track. I'm literally working on it, and I just got pinged with this news. Trump just posted this. Congratulations to everyone. It has been fully agreed, by and between Israel and Iran, that there will be a complete and total ceasefire in approximately 6 hours from now, when Israel and Iran have wound down and completed their in-progress final missions, for 12 hours, at which point the war will be considered ended. Officially, Iran will start the ceasefire, and upon the 12th hour, Israel will start the ceasefire, and, upon the 24th hour, an official end to the 12-day war will be saluted by the world. During each ceasefire, the other side will remain peaceful and respectful. On the assumption that everything works as it should, which it will, I would like to congratulate both countries, Israel and Iran, on having the stamina, courage, and intelligence to end what should be called the 12-day war. This is a war that could have gone on for years and destroyed the entire Middle East, but it didn't and never will. God bless Israel, God bless Iran, God bless the Middle East, God bless the United States of America, and God bless the world. Iran is no longer in a position to be a threat to Israel, but must still be in place to be one of the major players in Gog-Magog. Iran's proxies are destroyed, and Iran can't help them anymore. This is exactly what has happened. We are now entering the time spoken of in Ezekiel 38. Israel will be in power and at peace. Isaiah 17 will be planned in secret. The 12-day war has ended, and the calm before the storm will now begin.
Fears over Iran's missing 400 kilograms of uranium, and that's if we just believe the reports. But we have this satellite image from Fordo showing what appears to be, I think, 16 trucks. I could be wrong. There may be another one I missed. Now, the reports are that 2 days before the strikes, they were able to get all of the fissile material out of these facilities and then spread them out to who knows where. J.D. Vance was asked about this, and he says, we're not so concerned about their 60% enriched uranium. We were concerned if they were going to continue enriching upwards of 90%, and we have taken away their ability to do that. That being said, there are many people who are deeply concerned this is not over. Iran may agree to a ceasefire, but what happens if they start dispatching even 60% uranium to various like the Houthis or other terrorist insurgent groups in the region, and then we see some random armed insurgent group making threats and making demands, but armed now with a dirty bomb. 16 trucks. We don't know which one was loaded with what. Those 16 trucks drive off in different directions and go into a big facility where 16 more trucks drive out. Those 16 trucks then drive across various borders into various countries, through Pakistan, through India, into Russia, into China. And now whatever was there is mixed around with whatever was in the other regions before. It just adds to the mix, and we're not going to know where it came from, whose it was. I mean, I'm sure that they'll claim this has all the signatures of Iranians.
Using that kind of stuff still is such high risk. Like, what's the benefit? Because you're not going to you're going to terrorize people, right? But like, that's what policy are they trying to get the U.S. to change?
Why did the Houthis start bombing tanker vessels in the Red Sea?
Because of the war in Gaza, right?
And so, if an ideologically driven group is screaming a genocide is occurring, and they go from having short-range missiles and RPGs to dirty bombs and enriched uranium, then it's not going to be a short-range missile strike on a tanker.
I can't imagine them actually using dirty bombs in Israel.
Dirty bomb is a general term for they can call them suitcase nukes. Basically, it's a hodgepodge of nuclear fissile material in a bomb of varying yield. They're small, but when they go off, they can irradiate small portion, like areas of cities or city blocks.
So it's like a conventional bomb that spreads out the nuclear waste, basically?
It could be. It could be. It could be a low-yield nuclear bomb, but likely with enriched uranium, conventional bomb that's going to irradiate. And then what happens if that blows up in an urban area? You could be dealing with decontamination efforts for years. That's the fear of. This is what I don't like about when they come out and they say a nuclear-armed Iran cannot happen because Iran will nuke this country, that country. It's like, no, they won't. They're going to use it as leverage. And they're going to say, we can play ball. The bigger fear is when they start passing it off to Hamas. And then Hamas detonates a dirty bomb at the Rafah crossing or something.